Thank you.
Time to get the Christmas on.
Seriously.
Amen.
Unbelievable. I'm so happy to sit down with you guys. And this album, it's been out since October, but I started listening to it this week, and I knew you guys were coming by, I knew we were going to talk, and it was like the perfect post-Thanksgiving album. I mean, this really is. I mean, this is what I want to hear when I come home for the holidays. Like when mom and dad, they're cooking in the kitchen, they're making whatever, maybe some incense is going on, the tree's up. These are the sounds that I want to hear.
Yeah, we want to create like a warm Christmas blanket, to take you through the season. And we took songs from the past, from that golden era of music in the 40s and 50s that sort of seems that Christmas seems to live there forever. And we combine it with some spiritual tunes and some ones that we've written ourselves to really make this album that tries to capture what it feels like to be a child at Christmas time.
You really did that. I mean, I like the blanket. It's like a warm hug for the holidays. And I want to talk about actually the track listing of this, because one of the things that I think is most enjoyable about what you did here is it really takes you through the holiday experience and then ends what feels like New Year's Eve with Auld Lang Syne.
It worked.
Boom. There you go. He got it.
Yeah, we put a lot of time into repertoire, into programming, and when we started with this project, there were probably 200 songs on the list. So Christmas is a good time for tenors. The tenor repertoire is abundant. And we already have a Christmas album from 9 years ago called The Perfect Gift, which has gone triple platinum, and this is always a great time of year for us. So we felt like it had been long enough since our last album, so we put our heads together, and we did, as Clifton said, wanted to touch on some nostalgic songs, those classic songs from the 40s and 50s, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, as you just heard, I'll Be Home for Christmas, but then also bring some new repertoire to the fore. So, we've got When We Are Together, a song that went #1 in Canada last year, and we're hoping for the same success down here in the States. And also a new song, Santa's Wish, which we wrote based around the familiar old jingle, I'd like to teach the world to sing. But we framed it in a new story about a young boy who asks Santa what he'd like for Christmas. And that's a song they chose to perform on Rockefeller tomorrow night. So
we've got a lot to talk about with Santa's Wish. I want to get to that. A question that I got to ask you, though, and I'll pose this to Victor over here. You're talking, Fraser, about the abundance of tenor music this time of year, and even citing your own previous work in sort of the Christmas holiday realm. There's been so many holiday albums, so I'm curious, Victor, when you enter into making an album like this, how do you go about making it unique?
That's a good question. I mean, that's what we're always striving for, the tenors, and we're very involved with the arrangements, the orchestrations, the writing of the material. Even though they may be covers, we're very involved. We all play instruments, and we all have some background in writing. So that's very important to us because we know our voices, we know how they work together, and when it comes to vocal arrangements and what the orchestra is doing to accompany us, it's all very thought out, and it's great because sometimes we'll disagree, but it's a good healthy rub, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all smiling, saying that's the right way, and we're really happy. It took a while to do, but we're very happy with the product, and it's not always an easy task because you're going into the Christmas season exactly with that tradition of having the best of the best doing Christmas albums. Mm-hmm. So you enter that realm with humility, first of all, because you have Nat King Cole and Bing Crosby with all those classic albums that you pay so much respect to.
Michael Bublé.
There you go. But you just want to kind of give it your own fingerprint, for sure.
Right. Clifton, you brought up a 40s, 50s era. And I love what you said. You said that Christmas almost always lives there or lives on forever there. Do you guys have a favorite era of holiday music? You cite Nat King Cole, you cite Bing Crosby. But
I think 47 to 51 was
wow,
really
that exact.
There was something blossomed in the world of music, and Christmas kind of came together, and it created this concept of Christmas, the white Christmas and chestnuts roasting and warm and cozy and warm, rich voices sort of massaging you into the season, and yeah, it wraps you up. It tells stories. It's brilliantly written. There's so much gorgeous orchestration, and it's not overdone and bombastic, but it's melodic and it's thoughtful. Just some great writers and musicians really took their time to capture the spirit of Christmas at that era, and we're reliving it every year. Yeah. We always go back to those moments, and Fraser said nostalgia is key at this time of year. You want to remember those incredible time of life when you were a child and all these things were happening for the first time, discovering Santa for the first time, or going to church with family or caroling or whatever it is. Some of the greatest memories that we've had have been
discovering rum and eggnog.
Roman eggnog.
Rum and eggnog.
Rum and eggnog.
What is Roman eggnog?
You gotta put me on a Roman eggnog.
It's his Vancouver accent.
Vic might know what Roman eggnog is. He lived in Italy.
It's a little different than the rum and eggnog.
Yeah.
It's dolce.
Recipe coming soon for that one. I want to talk about a song on here that, of course, everything on here is a holiday song, but there's a song that I love called When We Are Together. And it's such a bright and warm song, but not warm in the sense of, a holiday blanket, like you said before, Clifton. It almost sounds like it could be a summer song. And I've never heard a song on a holiday record like that. Can you talk about When We Are Together?
It was actually originally not a Christmas song, and then we sort of lived with it for a while, and we're like, you know what? This would be perfect for the holidays because we want to combine the nostalgia and the warm blanket with some fun and energy, because what's better than celebrating and having fun with the people that you love? And at this time of year, kindness is on the tip of everyone's lips. Everyone wants to look for an opportunity to do random acts of kindness, bring people together, have fun, celebrate with the rum and eggnog, and I think this song was just a joyous, upbeat pop song that gave everyone an opportunity to have fun, to dance, and it's an opportunity for a group like ours to get on pop radio, and it worked out. Went #1 in Canada last year, and it's hitting radio now in the U.S. So we're sort of waiting for it to take off. So it was a lot of fun writing it and creating it in the studio, and just to see it take off has been pretty special for us.
Oh my gosh, #1 in Canada, that's incredible. I want to go into this track listing a little bit deeper and talk about a song that's going to be very relevant tomorrow, about 8 p.m. Nationally here in the U.S. Santa's Wish. Now, Santa's Wish is actually premiering today. The music video, I should say, for Santa's Wish will be premiering today on freeform.com at around, I believe, 3 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. In the 3 o'clock hour. What can you tell us first about the song, and then I want to hear about the video?
Well, the song, came together. It was sort of us putting our heads together with with our radio guy up in Canada, and he sent us a link. He said, "Have you guys heard of this song?" And we were in the studio working away on the Christmas record, and we clicked on the link and we sort of see this group of hippies singing this song. I'd like to teach the world to sing, and we thought, is he crazy?
Is he in that Roman eggnog again?
Exactly.
He could still be crazy.
Yeah. But props to Paul Jessup because he had a vision to sort of bring a very important message, that the world needs right now.
100%.
And it took us a minute, but when we sat down at the piano and we started working some chords out and then framing a new storyline around that, we didn't want to sort of stick with what people, thought that, jingle meant. And so, we came up with this story about a young boy who's walking down the street with his parents and seeing toys in the window, and it really gives you that sort of smell, taste of Christmas. And the video is incredible. It's, we're so proud of it, and it's going to be released out to the world. It's this thing we've been working on for a while. But the response already in our performances has been incredible. Yeah. It's sort of, cool that there's a familiar chorus to the piece, but then there's a brand new story around it, and we just can't wait to see the response.
That's really neat, taking a classic like that, reimagining it, and then making it your own. That's really special. Victor, what can you tell us about the concept behind the video that we'll all be seeing today around 3 p.m.?
Well, the concept, as Fraser was beginning to mention, it's about a boy's experience and memory, but he sees this busker on the street, and everybody's around this busker, and this busker is singing the chorus, and later on in the video, you realize the busker is actually Santa Claus, and it's his message to the world.
Spoiler alert, guys.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh. We
should have said that earlier.
Yeah, right.
Rotten Tomatoes.
There you go.
But so there's one moment in the video where Santa actually whispers in the child's ear, and because the child asks Santa what he wants for Christmas, which, puts a twist on things. And Santa says, "I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony." So there's that message. And, it's a very inclusive kind of song. And we try to show that in multiculturalism and just, society.
And Victor's being humble, but that boy in the video is his son, Zachariah.
No
and he's a total
way.
movie star.
He's just natural born.
He looks beautiful. And we included actually our whole band and their families as well. So talk about inclusivity. It was really cool to have family and friends involved in it. So it means that much more to us.
And in terms of culture, we incorporate at the end of the video all different dancers from all walks of life and creeds. We had First Nations dancers, we had cabaret dancers, we had ballerinas, we had, oh my goodness.
We had African dance troupe, we had the Bollywood.
Hip-hop dancers.
Oh my gosh.
We had a children's choirs, and it's kind of like the concept of the whole world coming together under this really powerful message that will hopefully galvanize everyone moving forward and bring some positivity through the Christmas season.
Definitely. I can't wait to see it, guys. And then tomorrow, the entire country is going to see it. You guys are performing. This is crazy to me.
Snap.
You guys are performing live at 8 p.m. on NBC for Christmas at Rockefeller Center. I mean, that is like the holiday. Round of applause for that.
That's amazing.
That is like the Super Bowl of holiday music. How does it feel, gracing that stage?
It's something that we've been sort of putting out into the ether for about 8 or 9 years. We had it on our mood board for years. Like, one day we're going to get on the Rockefeller tree lighting, and we even write it in the Google Calendar every year in hopes that we get the call. And we put this album together. Verve, Decca released it in the U.S., and they gave us a call and said, the label heard the album, and NBC wants you to sing on national television for the Rockefeller tree lighting, and we couldn't believe it. And it was one of those dreams come true that you manifest, that you believe it, you put it out, and it came back. And we're so excited. We've been in New York for 3 days. We've been, doing media and preparing for this big event tomorrow night. And, if you dream it, it can happen.
Amazing. You guys are living proof. That's pretty incredible.
Absolutely.
Congratulations again on that.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing. I mean, when you think about it, right, Tony Bennett has graced that stage.
Yeah.
I know Garth Brooks is a hero
one
of
of
yours,
my absolute
right?
favorites of all time.
Where does that
Garth
go
Brooks.
back to?
My dad and I would sing Garth Brooks growing up. He's a small fishing resort, Nemo Bay, up in BC, and I would sing for the guests with my dad. And one of the songs that we'd always sing was "The Dance" by Garth Brooks, his favorite song, one of my very favorites. And he just has a way of connecting with his audience and being true to himself as he rises up the ranks of fame. So he's someone to admire through his musicality, but also through his humility, which we love.
100%. He's a great guy. And speaking of Garth Brooks, speaking of these legends, you guys have actually shared the stage with plenty of legends. Some great stories you were telling me backstage before we went live here on Build. You got to tell the people at home the Paul McCartney story. So you guys, first off, you shared the stage, or how did it work with Paul? But this is a great story.
We were doing a private event at the Battersea Power Station in London, in the outskirts of London, England. And we were walking into sound check, and we had heard that Paul might be on this event. It was a charity event, a fundraiser, and we walked into sound check, and there he was on the stage, playing guitar and sort of getting his levels. And we were all just awestruck. We were at the back of the room, and he sort of saw us from a distance, and he didn't have to acknowledge us. We were 100 feet or 200 feet away. And he sort of turned to us and started playing guitar
As
at
if he was
us.
serenading us.
Yeah.
It was
and
awesome.
then so we were just
surreal.
in his, gaze, and we just sort of got pulled toward the stage.
Tractor beam.
He literally pulled us in. And he finished his set, and we were at the side of the stage at this point, and he walked right off up to us. "Hey boys, how you doing?" And he chatted to all of us and the people we were with as well, just kind of joking with them. "Oh, are you security?" He said to my brother, and my brother's like, "Yep."
Whatever you want, Paul.
It was great, and then we at the end of sort of chatting with him, we mentioned, "Hey, maybe we should get a quick picture," and he taught us a word. He said, "You know what? Let's wait till the performance, because right now I'm feeling a bit bedraggled." All right, so now you've got that for your repertoire.
What does it mean?
Well,
Bedraggled,
I
yeah.
guess it just
like
means,
Roman.
Yeah, it's like too much
eggnog.
Roman eggnog.
Disheveled.
Yeah, he's a bit disheveled and not quite, not
We
quite
thought
ready.
that was a reason for him just not to get a picture with us.
Right.
Like, oh, we get it. Okay, that's how you get out of taking a picture. But after the show, after the concert, there was a beeline to the van. And he was just going to go straight from the stage to the van, and he actually stopped security. He said, "Hey, where are those boys? Where are those boys?" He came and found us, and he got that picture. Yeah. So he was true to his word. So props to you, Paul. Thank you so much. We cherished it. It was a bit grainy, but we'll take it.
Wow.
And his set that night was just out of this world. And we were standing right there, side stage, and just taking in the entire thing. The energy was incredible. And at his age, he just, is sort of defying the odds and blowing audiences away.
What an amazing memory, guys. Yeah. And I'm guessing cool. you definitely still have that photograph somewhere.
It's it's in my
framed maybe.
Yeah, framed on Facebook.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's amazing. Now I want to get back to tour really quick, guys, because you're actually, believe it or not, in the midst of tour right now. You're going to be here on December 22nd, I should say, in Midtown at Town Hall. Great venue for that concert. I mean, that's going to be holiday cheer times 10. What can you tell us about these shows? How has tour been going so far?
Awesome. I mean, we were in Canada coming straight from, actually we did Seattle right before New York. We did LA, Vegas, and the energy and the crowd's feeling and energy with them, because it is reciprocal, right? You give an energy, you get it back from your audience, and it's magic. Like it's hard to explain it, put it in words, but it's a very, very magical moment. Yeah. And it's just been getting more and more, getting closer to Christmas, you get more into it.
People get more amped up, and it's sort of like a Christmas extravaganza.
We start to get into it mid-November, but now we're like right in the crowd.
November 18th with choirs and Christmas trees. It's like, all right, let's wait till Thanksgiving. Yeah. But since then, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
And,
but we're so excited to get back here at the end of the tour. It ends the tour, New York City, Town Hall. Very excited about that on the 22nd. And I think
we're coming through Chicago and through Boston and Toronto and Winnipeg and Edmonton. So yeah, we're filling up the dates after Rockefeller. Literally the next day we're in Edmonton. So
that's insane. Wow,
it's a little crazy, but
we'll sleep afterwards.
We'll sleep in January.
Exactly. Now, what I love about your shows is anybody can really pop up at one of these shows. And if you're a fan of you guys on Facebook, you probably know where I'm going right now. But Clifton, I believe a family member, a relative of yours, made a grand entrance at a recent show. Can you tell this story?
Yeah, so there's this moment in the show where Vic and I go out in the house and we try and find like the next big singer. And we do a little contest, like finish the Christmas lyric. We'll start it, you finish it. And as we're just about to start the whole bit, out from the darkness down the aisle comes my 3-year-old niece, Fauna, and she's got this beautiful little flower dress up, and she just walks up, she's like, "Hi, Cliff, can I play?" And I literally started like shaking. I was so emotional because I don't get to see my family very often. She's such a showman. So, we get her up on the step, and I know she sings "You Are My Sunshine" with my dad at a resort. So I said, "Hey, do you want to sing?" And she's like, "Yep." She was ready to go, and Darren, our MD, started playing the song, and I just gave it over, and she sang the whole first verse perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Kept it in pitch, and the audience started clapping along, and like I'm starting to lose it. I got tears flowing down, and then she waves at the audience, like all super pro, and then I go, "Okay, go find your mom," and we went on with the show. But, my cousins and my family are like on Facebook, like, "That was the greatest moment ever," and I literally have watched it 200 times since then.
He brought her
so
backstage,
emotional.
and we sort of thought she might be shocked after performing for that many people, and we said, like, "Are you okay? Did you have fun?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "When's the next gig?"
Yeah. She's a natural.
Is there room on the
Remember
bus?
the Tenors now. And how old is she?
3. She's
3
3 years old, and she could do the whole song. She could do 4 verses of "You Are My Sunshine," but we kept it to 1, just to keep the show flowing.
We've heard the 4. They're good. They're good.
I mean, that's amazing. Though. 3 years old, the poise, the presence in that video.
Yeah, well, I mean, our whole family, we're all performers. I mean, everyone here comes from a family of singers and performers and actors, and it's in the blood. So, my dad's been teaching her songs, and my brother Fraser plays guitar with her. So she was ready,
Yeah.
She sang for the guests at Nemo Bay, and now she's like, "Oh, this is only like 2,000 more people. I'm good to go."
Yeah, right? Definitely a singer to keep your eye on, for sure.
Amen.
Now, I believe we do have some audience questions in the house for the Tenors, and we see a microphone right there.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Doing great. I wanted to find out, how did you all get together as the Tenors, and how long ago? And also, do you guys get nervous when you perform? Because you look like you have such a wonderful time, great fun, and it's always so natural. Like it doesn't look like work.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Well, to answer the first question, we tell people that we've only been together, 3 years, but it's been about 11. It takes a long time to get it right. And we've been traveling around the world since those early days. And the first tour, we traveled to many small towns. Did I think 12 shows in 14 days, and it was incredible just to sort of earn our stripes by going from community to community. Before we were doing big cities, we were playing in church basements. We were playing in high school auditoriums with honky-tonk pianos, and yeah, exactly. And so just us and a piano player, and so it's been quite it's quite something to sit back and to sort of see that growth and that trajectory after this many years to now be performing around the world, to be performing for royalty, for the Queen at her 90th birthday or her Diamond Jubilee, and the White House. We did the Obama's Christmas tree lighting. So to get these types of opportunities is like total pinch me moments. And sometimes our life moves so fast. It's not until we kind of get home for Christmas and like our moms, go, "Do you realize what you just did?" And it sort of takes us a minute to digest it all, But yeah, to answer that question, that many years ago, we were introduced, 3 of us were introduced by a lady on the west coast of Canada who knew us from our solo careers. And it was, we thank her for that introduction, because if it weren't for her, we wouldn't be on this stage. But we took over the company, the project pretty early on, because we had a real vision for the future and how we could be creative together and bring a new voice to the music world. So we're pretty proud of where we've been. And as far as it being like work, some days are harder than others.
Is it like work, Vic?
Is it like work? We're blessed. I mean, it truly is something to be doing what you love to do on a daily basis. Obviously, there's more to it. We run the behind the scenes and all the other things you have to deal with as artists. It's not always easy, and the schedule sometimes. You said, do we get nervous? Generally, it's an excitement. It's an excitement. You use those nerves now. You know how to hone it better, to use it in your advantage, because you want to be excited. The times when you're nervous in maybe a little negative way, and where you have to be strong here, is when you're not feeling 100%, or you're waking up and you're singing at 8 in the morning, and that's not,
because it's like being like an athlete.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is like being like an athlete. You got to keep in shape. You got to eat well. When you're on a rigorous schedule and you're not stopping till Christmas, you're just hoping that you won't get sick, because you meet a lot of people. You're on planes. You're in general public, and you're tired. So you have to keep your energy up. So grateful for the fans. The people who buy into our music and come to our shows, truly blessed. Thank you.
Absolutely, guys. We have another fan question right here. Are we going back here first?
Hello. So you've mentioned some of the performances that you went around the world performing for, like Queen Elizabeth or the Emmys or the Olympics. What has been your favorite show and the most challenging, perhaps a memory or something else you'd like to share?
Favorite and most challenging? They can be mutually exclusive, right? Okay, good. I think we all have maybe slightly different favorites. Last year, we performed for an event on TV in Europe called Music for Mercy, and it was put on in conjunction with the Vatican, and it was staged at the Roman ruins in Rome, and no performer had performed in that stage for about 2,000 years. They opened it up, and what they wanted to do was to create a concert that opened the hearts of Europeans to all of the suffering immigrants coming in from war-torn other countries, to allow compassion to flow through, for the refugees to come through, And so it was Andrea Bocelli, we had the Roman Symphony was involved, and it was an outdoor event. And all of the ancient ruins of Rome were lit up, the pillars and the ruins that had been there for thousands of years, and they opened up Caesar's Senate as our green room. And no one had been in there for hundreds of years, in fact. So just to be on those hallowed grounds and to be sharing the stage with incredible artists from all over the world, David Foster was there as well, was really an incredible experience, sharing an amazing message for people that really needed it, you know, because the refugees were suffering so heavily, and there was a lot of turmoil in Europe at the time. So I think for us, that was a defining memory that we'll cherish for sure.
As far as most challenging performance, maybe it'd be between, you know, we do television specials, and sometimes, you know, the deadlines are very difficult to deal with. We've got, you know, a full orchestra on stage. We've got 10 cameras out there, and we've got a whole audience that you're trying to keep entertained while you're doing a second take of a song, for instance. So there's moments like that, and then another one that came to mind was a collaboration we did with Cirque du Soleil, which it's an incredible highlight, but it's also just a very technical performance because people are literally risking their lives while you're singing, while you're performing. They're flying above you, and so the rehearsals, you know, are very time-consuming just to make sure that everyone's protected. But I think, you know, when you spend those extra hours and, you know, you're extremely tired, but you get to that opening night performance and everything goes off without a hitch, the payoff is incredible, and we just appreciate Cirque du Soleil so much for their professionalism and for their collaboration.
Yeah, there's probably nothing like that feeling, man, that payoff. Victor, anything?
Oh, you know, another fond memory for us, one that I'll never forget, is when we sang on a field in Kenya. We were doing some charity work there with Free the Children, and they said, "Do you mind doing a concert for the village people?" You know, not the village people from the 70s, but
The people of the village.
people of the village. Some people got that joke. But you know, we're like, okay, because these people have never experienced anything like a concert. You know, they're just dealing with the day-to-day, you know, trying to survive and getting their water, and, you know, so we're like, absolutely, let's do it. So they drove us to this field, and the whole village was there, and we got out of the van, and the mamas of the village, who are really well respected, they were singing, and they were leading us in to the ceremony. And we were following them in, and everybody was like greeting us, and we sang some songs for them. We ended with Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen's, and it was such a spiritual moment. Just, you know, brought us to tears, and just so overwhelming. At the end, the mamas actually gave us a goat in thanks. Now, a goat, like, for them, is a huge thing.
Yeah.
That it's beyond gold. So we took the goat
Briefly.
and then
Gave it to a deserving family.
House is this goat at right now?
I had a not carry-on bag.
Yeah, we actually said, you know, which family could use this goat, because, you know, they would have had a little problem at customs with the thing. No, but it was an incredible experience, one I'll never forget, for sure.
Good memory, man.
And you know what I think that speaks to you guys is this is universally understood great music. You know, you don't have to know the language or the words, or even have been to a concert, as you sort of, Victor said about the village people, to really appreciate what you guys do. It's just universally just great music, which I think that's evident of. We do have time for one more studio question.
Hi. So I was wondering, do you, when you're not touring, do you still have to do anything to maintain your voice, or do you get to relax a little bit? And while you're touring, do you have like any pre-show rituals, like to warm up?
That's a good question. Are you a singer yourself?
No.
A little
I don't
bit,
think I
maybe
can
in the
sing.
shower.
A little bit.
The voice is a really funny thing, you know, and sometimes it has a mind of its own, and you can't ever let it lie for too long. You got to keep your eye on the prize, and like being an athlete, you got to stay in shape all year long. But part of staying in shape is letting it rest and letting it recover. You certainly feel it at the end of a tour like ours, when you've been singing every night or 5 nights a week, nonstop. We traditionally were on the road about 300 days of the year. And we drink lots of throat coat tea, and we have oil of oregano, and try and get a really good sleep. Lots and lots of water, which is paramount for a singer. But when you're off, you take a few days to recover, but you don't come right back and start singing. Few days before you go back on tour again, you start to get that voice going. You warm it up, because if you warm it up slowly, you're less likely to damage it. If you go from 0 to 100, that's when mistakes happen. That's when you can, pop a vocal cord or get a note, or you could, get some inflammation. That can create little polyps on your vocal cord that you have to get surgery for. And it's the instrument you can never put down. Bass player can go out and get rowdy and come wake up the next morning, the bass is going to sound the same. Might not be in the pocket, but it'll have that same resonance. But for a vocalist, obviously, you're always aware of it. No matter what you're doing, if you're on tour or off tour, you got to be thinking, how is this affecting my voice? Will this be negatively or positively affecting the next show that we're doing? Thank
Getting
you.
singing lessons up here. This is nice.
Yeah.
Learn a lot about
We'll
the
stay
voice.
longer.
Do you want to sing? All right. Okay. Could be your big moment.
Victor.
AOL introduces
That guy.
Jumai. What was your name?
Jawad,
Jawad. Well, you got the cool name down, so you just got the lessons and we're good to go.
maybe one day.
Yeah, there we go.
Guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Again, the record Christmas Together out right now, available everywhere. And tomorrow night, the big night, NBC, 8 Eastern, Christmas at Rockefeller
forward
Center.
to it.
So cool, guys. Thanks so much.
Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you very much. Thanks for having us.
Good night.